Today I have shared my entire screen because I want to show you some practical also because you know about the theory. Yes, everybody, Jai Swaminarayan, good morning, Jai Shri Krishna, Nikhil. Okay, so now let me start our session with the full energy. Friends, in our first session we have discussed a few of the topic. Just I want revision from your side. Those who were present, please only just tell me the topic. Like, sir, we discuss about the like the topic of C, the middle level language, and any other topic. Many topics we discussed in our first session. So one by one, those who remember that things, you just unmute your mic and or you can directly type in a chat also. Okay, you type the topic name in a chat. Very good. Convention of variable name. Good, Nisha. Fast, fast. Within 1 or 2 minutes, we want to revise our topic. Pointers, concept also basic level. Convey. Next, higher level language. Very good. I'm also scrolling the screen so you can just recall. Uh, uh, yes, Jai, high level, middle level, concepts, compiler. Right now, do not give the answer because I am just changing the slide for recall the things. That's why. Compiler, interpreter concept we have discussed. Then only few students are interacting. See, I want the maximum students involved in the discussion. So type something in the chat uh, so I can also understand. Okay, all of you are communicating. System software application, very good, Nikita. Then Sham, keywords, good. There are 32 keywords in a C. Then any other regarding a data type also we discuss certain things and access specifier, address of variable, good, pointer. So we reach up to the question number 5 as I remember, right? And our question 4 is uh, okay, you want the recursion concept. Sure. Actually, with the example you want to see, so the if example you want to understand, then I have to type the entire code over there. But for the recursion point of view, uh, the concept you want to explain, right? Then what is recursion first? Anybody knows? Then you unmute your mic. Bingradi or Romit ask the questions, recursion. That's why in my first session I told you that if you want a particular topic, then you send me a suggestion by WhatsApp, so I can means directly prepare examples and explain you. Otherwise, it will take a time to type the entire programs over here. Sachit also asked one question, very good questions in the after our session, first session, how we can calculate sum of second and third number of any numbers, right? So in that way, okay, recursion, just right now I'm explaining the concepts, right? But not possible, otherwise our main topic we cannot able to discuss. So the answer from the Nikhil side is yes. In a single statement, you can say recursion is the concepts of calling a function itself. A function call itself. Generally, in case of function, one function always call from others, or other function is calling to other functions, right? So suppose function 1 is there, function 2 is there, then generally function 1 is calling function 2. One simple example, let me take main is a function, right? Uh, Today I also, uh, are you able to see the TC screen, all of you? Just you reply in a chat.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Now say, yes, yes, okay. Here, suppose this is a main function, so that is one function. And after main, suppose after main or before main, you can declare the function. If I declare one another function like sum over here, right? Then generally what we are doing, from main function, we are calling the another function. But so this is our normal practice. Okay, here main is calling to the main function, sum function. But whenever the thing is like that, here some function inside it call itself. So if you write this kind of code, again it becomes infinite. It will never stop the execution because a function call itself, function call itself. So whenever you use the recursion function, at least you have to mention one condition from that recursions will be stopped after certain iteration. So that condition must be there inside the recursion function. That remember that conditions. So whenever you use the recursion function, one condition should be available in the recursion function, which will stop the calling execution of the same function. एक condition એવી મૂકવાની કે જેથી એ function call કરતા કરતા stop કરે. So this is just a concept. Today we'll discuss about the recursion. And let me start with the presentation. Yes, this was our last topic. Suppose you want to store any value, upper limit of integer data types, then what's happened? I asked that question. Now today I will show you the practical, right? Before that, let me move to the here. This is the answer of unsigned short integer that we discussed. You already learned all this value range for integers, and like character occupy 1 byte. This is the range. Then here signed character, unsigned character 0 to 255. Here unsigned integer, we talk about the limit of 0 to, only one difference, sign means which includes negative as well as positive value, whereas unsigned means sign vagarno. Sign vagar means always we consider a positive, then the limit is 0 to 655. Integer is having both the limit -32768 to +32767. Here, depending on the compilers, depending on the type of compilers, the size of the integer variables may be a 2 bytes or a 4 bytes. So this is the limit. Now let me take a practical example. See here, what is the higher limit of integer data type? 32767, right? So here I have written the code. We keep this. Now see, suppose this is a program. Integers. Can you write these things in a C language? Anybody knows about this? How you can write this? Integer x. Actually in C there is a keyword is int, but here I declare the variable using integer. Give me, this is a valid statement or not? Or can I write these things or not? Unmute your mic and give the answer. Fast. Okay, first. Hello. Yes, Dilip, give an answer.
સર લખી શકાય આ પ્રમાણે ઇન્ટીજર
How we can write?
બીકોઝ INT આપણે એટલા માટે લખી કે જે આપણને સારું લાગે, ઓલા ટૂંકમાં આપણને શોર્ટ લાગે અને આપણે વારંવાર આખું ન લખવું ને એટલા માટે. આ ઇન્ટીજર આપણે ફૂલ પણ લખી શકીએ. I tried this.
Now you tell me that if I compile this program, then it will give me an error or not?
નો એરર નહીં આવે.
Okay, now I'm pressing Alt F9.
Okay.
See friends, even there is a one in a data type. You already learned that there are two types of data type: primitive and non-primitive, or you can say the user-defined data types, right? So you can suppose if you want to write integer, then you have to use in that way. Okay, actually this topic will come in a later stage, but right now I explain this thing. Type def is a keywords. With the help of that, you can change the name of any keywords as per your convenience. So type def even I think you might used in your C++ program also. When you declare a class, then you can also use the type def class or without class. But okay, here what I did, type def, then my main data type is int, right? And instead of int, what I want to use, capital integer. Now if I remove this comment over here, now it will not show me the error. That this error is from here. Typing mistake. Okay. See, now there is no error. Understood, everyone? Now see, now it will work. If I control F9, so it will display the answer. Even suppose I can mention my name also. If I don't want to use integer, instead of that I want to use Ashwin. So now whenever I want to declare any variables of integers, I can use Ashwin over here. So the people will surprise this. Okay, when you mention Ashwin, then it will declare integer variable, right? So if suppose Alt F9, it will run. There is no any issue.
Sir,
I hope, yes.
printf ની જગ્યાએ ખાલી p લખી શકી કે ફંક્શન ના નામ ચેન્જ નહીં?
Actually, yes, that is also possible, but it is not applicable for all the compilers. See, here I have tried for that. You can write like this, printf, right? And instead of that, you can use tf, for example, right? But right now I have installed this turbo 0. So the simple tc you can try, right? That will work out. This compiler does not accept this thing. See here, if I use pf Alt F9, it display error. But you try in another your tc. Actually I installed that turbo and the version is different. So this is also possible. Sometimes you can change the function name also in that way. So this is useful for I think if you are using a Python, then in a Python also, when you import a module, then you can also sort out a name. I think all of you are aware about this, right? Hello, please type your response in a chat.
Yes sir, yes sir, I totally understand.
Right, I want the response from everybody, right? Those who are present in the session, right? So you continue type in a chat whenever I ask any question. So in that way, we'll not give much time in that. So any character or a built-in word you can change over here. If I change like this integer, so instead of int I can use the even one another question. Suppose I have mentioned type def of cap, and if I use the default integer, then also it will work. It doesn't mean that if you convert in a different name like int then integer, so we have to compulsory use integer over. It is not like that. You can use the default also. So understood, everyone, right? So these things you clear, because sometimes in a questions what they will do, they will mention like this. Okay, type def integer int integer, and they will give again here int and ask that whether any error in that. So generally in our mind, if we change using the name using a type def, then it should be over here, nothing like that. The default keyword also you can use. So I hope all of you understood this type def concepts. Yes. Then, okay, now let me discuss our main topic. Here, say, we know that what is the last limit of integer? 32767. So I assign 32767 positive value to x variable, and here I am printing the variable x. And now let's see the answer. Yes, yes. What is the error? Printf. See, it will display 32767 limit. Now, if I add one number over here, yesterday I told you that, if you remember, see, the rules is like that. If you mention above this limit, what will happen? It will start the reverse process. Reverse means here. Reverse, even let's I explain using the annotation. Just a minute. Session માં શું પછી call કરું. Okay, all of you are visualizing annotations. See, I think in mathematics also you learn that after the at the right hand zero, all are positive number, and left hand side all are negative number. આપણે સંખ્યા રેખા મેથ્સ માં શીખી ગયા છો તમે, right? So here, see, if I give more value as compared to limit, then it will start from the left hand side. So suppose in an integer, here I mentioned 70 for example, then what will happen? Limit kya સુધીની છે આની? Limit kya સુધીની છે? 67. Assign કેટલા કરીએ છીએ આપણે? 70. So how many numbers are more? 3 numbers. Then what will happen? It will start from here. So 67 is here, then this is 68, 69, and again 70 means what? 327666. Then what is the answer? Now you tell me the answer of this. If I mention 70 here, what is the answer of X? Okay, all of you type in a chat, what is the answer of this? Hello? Yes. Any other? Yes, minus 32766. Why? Because we have given the 3 upper numbers. So it will start from the reverse side. So 67 is the limit over here. And 68 means this, 69 is this, and 70 is this. So 70 number means minus 32766. So if I execute this program, it will give minus 32766. So if you give a upper limit value, then C will not give you error, but instead of that, it will start the reverse process. So this kind of question may be asked in the output type of questions. Okay, what is the output of this? In a question, they will give like this integer, this, and if printf statement, then what is the value of X? Then you have to count in that way. So I hope all of you understood this. Please mention your reply in the chat. Okay, now let's we move to the next questions. Okay, thanks. Now question number 6. All of you type your, I am giving 10 seconds to all of you, and type your answer in a chat fast. So which of the following is a user defined data type? Okay, fast everyone, give your response. Oh, so I received a mix of answer D, C. Now see, type def is also used to define a user-defined data types. So type def integer boolean is also right. Here enum is declared, that is also user-defined. Structure itself is a user-defined. So see, the answer is all above, right? So answer is D. All the statements are user-defined types. And I already explained about the type def. Even type def is a depth concept. It is not only used to change the name of keywords, but you can also declare a user-defined data types like structures and union. So this is the overview of this concept. Actually, in a C, ANSI C, it divides the total data types in three categories. One is the primary or built-in data types. So void, generally we are not declaring any variable of a void, but can you tell me the use of void in a C? Okay, fast everyone. Unmute yourself, those who want to give the answer. What is the use of void?
Nothing void means કઈ return નહીં કરતું.
Nothing. Okay, very good. So it means whenever any function doesn't return anything, then you can use the void. Then integer, character, double, all are the primitive data types, or you can say primary data types. Derived data types. What is the meaning of derived? What is the meaning of derived? Derive means what? We can create from others. See, array is not a data type. But if I want to declare any array over here, like a number of 10, so we have declared this array derived from a built-in data type. That's why the array is come under the derived data type. Reference is generally used in a C++. If you aware about that, reference, we can create the same reference of a particular variable, right? So few of the compilers are not supporting a C. Reference concept is generally available in a C++. And pointer, definitely there is no data type of pointer, but if I mention a pointer variable, then pointer is again declared with the help of built-in data type. That's why all are, it's a derived data types. And third type of is a user-defined data type. User-defined data type means what? We can create our own data types using structures, unions, and enum, or you can say enumeration. So I think right now we will not discuss in depth about the structure and union, but why structure and union is a user-defined data type? Because if I want to declare a structure like structure student, then I can mention the total number of variable inside this, like integer x, float f, character ch. So whatever you want to declare inside that structure, that's why structure is a user defined, right? So these are the three category of data types in the C. Okay. So I hope all of you understood this concept. Then I remove these programs. Let me move to the next program. Okay, next questions. Okay, which of the following declaration is not supported in C language? Type your answer in a chat. Okay, raise your hand. Type your answer, everybody, fast. Which of the following declaration is not supported in C or by C? Again, a mix-up answer. C means float str is equal to 3, 2, and D is both A and C. Okay, any other answer? Now only B is Character pointer str is pending. Okay. So D is the answer. D means what? Both A and C both are incorrect. Now who will tell about why A is incorrect? Please unmute your
Because S
mic.
is capital. S is capital in string.
S is capital, but suppose if I declare, let me take a practical over here. If I declare like this, suppose in a small string str, whether it will work in C? Very good, Nisha, Asha. There is no data type. Yes, it's the right answer. String is not a data type in a C language. So you cannot declare the variable of string. But there is another options in C. How we can declare a string variable in C? Using character array. Very good. Character array. So character array means it is a group of character, and group of character means string. So directly there is no data type of string in C language. So first statement you can say again it is wrong in that. Another is the character pointer str that you can declare. Then float str is equal to 3e2. Here 3e2 means what? It is represent the exponent value, floating value, right? And the meaning of this statement 3e2 means 3 multiplied by 10 raised to 2. And the meaning of that. And it is a shorthand format of exponent value 3e2. So let me declare that here. So first the answer is, you can say string str. That is the wrong answer. But few students say C also. But see friends, C you can declare the same variable here. Float str is equal to 3e2 CL. Yes. Now see, there is no error. So in C, I think in Excel you might suppose. Let me take the example of practical example. Then you can understand what is this in Excel. Okay, everybody able to see the Excel? I have opened the Excel. Hello. Okay. Now, please give me your one student. Please give me your enrollment number. Type your enrollment number in chat. Fast. Okay. Only one student. Okay, only one student. Now see what's happened here. I have just copy your enrollment number and paste in a Excel. So this is the exponent format here. 1.91 here 1.91 e plus 0.9, right? So in Excel I think this is the exponent format here. If you see this, so how we can change it? So right click, then if you say the format cell, right, and from here you can see that original number to format cell. So the same format is also allowed here. You can convert in the integer number in that way in Excel. So this is the exponent number. So same things the C is also allowing. And here see, if I execute this program, okay, few extra variables inside my program. Yes, here. Okay, this is the original number. We have mentioned in terms of exponent format. See, this kind of question generally asked in your technical interview or technical test. Okay, what is the meaning of this? Now, as I told you that, what is the simple rules to convert in our form? Then norm says 3 you have to keep as it is, multiply by whatever value after e, that you have to multiply as a 10 raised to 2. What do you mean by 10 raised to 2? 100. So if I directly mention 100, then what is the answer of 100 multiplied by 3 is a 300. So you can say, indirectly you can say this is the short form of 300, or you can say exponent format of 300. So understood this concept, all of you? Hello?
Yes, yes.
Yes. So in a float, so you can also assign the value in the exponent format. This is the exponent format, and that's why we are writing here E. Here C is also allowing capital E or small e. In that, there is no difference in that case. So the answer of this question number 7 is string str. Okay. Now, anybody is having any questions or doubt in these two topics? You can ask, or we can move to the next questions. Okay. Very, very important questions. And these questions, I will not give you the options here, because this is a difference, Kellogg and Malloc, right? And we'll discuss by direct. So those who know about this Kellogg and Malloc function, please unmute your mic and give me few information or a difference between these two functions. Then I will show you a practical of these two functions, so how it is used actually. Okay, who will give the answer of this? Sanket? Sanket, unmute your mic and give me answer. Hemali say that allocate single block of memory. What do you mean by single block? Actually, both functions are allocating memory continuously. Malloc takes a single argument, that is right, very good. Takes 2 argument, yes, in terms of number of argument, that is right. A default value of Malloc assigned to where is a garbage, but Kellogg assigned default value is 0. Very good, yes, that is also right. Malloc have 1 argument, Kellogg have 2 argument, that is also right. Very good. And Kellogg functions is of the same size. Kellogg takes a single argument. Okay, good. So Kellogg takes a single argument and Malloc takes 2 arguments. Good. So most of the students have given the correct answers, right? So let me just discuss practically how exactly it works. So before that, I'll show you the difference of these two. See, this is the difference, and as you already mentioned in your chat, right? Kellogg using a C dynamic memory allocations and Kellogg takes single. Yes, both are assigning the dynamic memory allocation. So see, Kellogg initialized one major difference is when you allocate a dynamic memory with the help of Kellogg, then whatever memory is assigned, and if the memory is of an integer type, then by default it will assign a 0 value. But if you allocate the memory with the help of Malloc, then it will not assign any means 0 value. It will assign a garbage value. This is the first, you can say, the difference. Then second difference is in terms of the argument. In Kellogg we require to pass 2 arguments, and in the Malloc we require to pass only single argument. And this is the syntax. Syntax, see, in both the function we require a typecasting. I will show you a practical typecastings. Then here block means how many, suppose if you want to declare a 5 number of array, then this is 5 is the block, and size of block. You have to mention the size of each and every block. Then we mention, we know that every integer value occupies 2 bytes. So here, if we want to allocate the memory of 5 element of array with 2 byte of each elements, then we can mention here block is 5 and size of each block is 2. So 2 is the byte. Similarly, if we consider the malloc function over here, then we cannot mention separate over here 5 comma 2. But here you have to mention the total bytes. So total byte means what? Here 5 elements, each element is a 2 byte. Then again, how many total bytes? 10 bytes. But in calloc, we have to mention separate 5 comma 2. But here in malloc functions, we cannot mention 5 comma 2. Then what we have to mention? We have to mention total byte. So total byte means 10. So we have to use here 10. Malloc is a 10, right? So let me see the practical of these two functions. I hope all of you understood the syntax of both the functions, calloc functions and malloc function. We will repeat these things. How we can use the calloc functions? Just unmute your mic and please repeat the things. Sachit? Sachit? Hello? Sanket? Hello? Are you able to hear my voice? Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Then reply, what is the, how we can use the calloc function? Who will say about this? Let me see the practical first. Yes. Okay. Now see, here pointer P, I have declared, why I have to declare the pointer P? Because whenever calloc is allocate the memory, I will show in a graphical way also how actually happen in the memory. So the syntax is first, I want to allocate the memory of 5 element of array. See, there are two options. If I declare integer num of 5, it means this is a static allocation. This is a static allocation. This statement also allocate the 5 element memories, and we know that how many bytes will occupy by this array. How many bytes are occupied by this array? Please type in a chat, everyone. If I mention the array in that way, integer num of 5, then how many bytes are occupied? Please type in a chat, everyone. The answer is, memory na કેટલા byte occupy થશે? 10 bytes. 10 bytes, not at 20 bytes. See, because one integer variables occupy 2 bytes, then here 5 element means 5 multiplied by 2, it is 10 bytes, right? Very good. Okay. Now this is a static declaration. But if the same array I want to declare in a dynamic memory allocation means what? At the runtime you are allocating a memory as per your requirement. Suppose at runtime you want to declare 50 size of array, 100 size of array, 500 size of array. So whenever the limit is not fixed, but it may vary at the time of execution, so in that case, do not use the static array. In place of that, you use the dynamic array. So the same things, how can I declare the dynamic array? So for that, we have to declare the pointer variables, and this is just one another variable, but pointer variable. Why I have declared a pointer variable? So meaning of the pointer variable is whenever a calloc function create a memory allocation in a memory, right, then it will return the address of first element. And address can only store by the pointers. Here I cannot write like this. This is I is a normal integer variable. A normal integer variable can assign only with a normal value. It cannot store the address, right? So the return, this malloc function return the address of first element. That's why we have to mention over here pointer variable p. Then what type of memory allocation is created by malloc? So integer. So here we have to declare the, we have to do the typecasting. This is meaning of typecasting. Then calloc function, here we have to mention two parameters. One is how many elements we want to create in a memory. Okay, 5. Then here there are two options. You can mention size of operator. This is the better way to mention the size, because suppose in few compilers, suppose a data type size is more than 2 of a particular integer, for example, right? Then if you mention that, then it will calculate the concern size only. But you know that the integer data type size is only 2 bytes, then you can mention here 2. Here turbo compiler only support 2 byte for integer data type. That's why I mentioned here 2. Even if you mention 4 over here, then also it will not allocate the 4 byte for one element. Remember this thing. Again, it depends on the compilers. So we know that 2 you can write. Why I have mentioned 2 over here? Because I want to create an integer dynamic array. An integer ની એક એલિમેન્ટની સાઇઝ 2 હોય અને એવા મારે કેટલા બ્લોક અથવા તો કેટલા એલિમેન્ટ્સ ક્રિએટ કરવા છે કે 5. So that's why I mentioned 5 and 2, or I can mention here size of integer, and we know that the output of size of integer is again 2. So both the things you can mention, but this method is, you can say, the perfect method. If you use the size of operator, it will never give any errors, right? If you change the compiler also, then so this is the, I hope all of you understood these statements of calloc. Please reply me in the chat. Any query in these statements? Any students? Okay. Now, let me see how the data is stored in that. So here I have taken one, the array integer I is equal to 0, I less than 5, I plus plus. Then printf. Here I have used percentage %u. Why I have used percentage %u? What is the use of this access specifier? In our first session, we already discussed this. What is the use of this? What is the use of this percentage %u? Yes, to display or to access the address. So percentage %u, we know that p is having only address. So I want to display the value of p. So p is having address. Then second is percentage %d. Percentage %d means star p. Star p means what? It retrieves the value of a particular address pointing by p. And after that p plus plus. Then we will move to the next element of this. Okay, let me just compile this program and execute this. See here, the first element's address is 1446 and default value is 0. We have not assigned the value. See here, we have only created memory, but here we have used the calloc function. So we have used calloc function. That's why what calloc has done, it allocates the 0 to each and every element. Now let's see the try to understand to visualize. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements. You can say yes, and this is the first address mentioned in that. Now see, this is the first address, and we know that each value of integer occupies 2 bytes. Then the second is 1448, then 1450, then 1452, then 1454, and by default it assigns the 0000, right? But suppose if we declare in that way integer num of 5, this is a static value, static, then what will happen? Maybe it will change the address, right? Here it will change the address, it will not keep the same address. Let me just change it, 1500, then, but the allocations will be in a continue manner. The difference is that here it is a garbage value. So a static value, when you declare any array, it is a garbage value by default. Calloc, it assigned by default 0 to everyone. Another thing is, when calloc create a memory, it will return only this address. It will return only 1446. See here in our program. First time P only having the value of 144. See here. So the 1446 is the first address, right? And it will be available in that. And what is the meaning of this? Now remember friends, in a pointer, P is not a normal variable, it is a pointer variable, right? And see here, integer pointer P. And as per the calloc, P is having a value 1446, right? And in general, when we write P++, it means in general way, suppose if I mention like this, integer x is equal to 5, and if I mention I++, then definitely x value is 6. But here, pointer P, when you increment the pointer, then it will move to the number of bytes. So here integer is having 2 bytes, and it will increment by 2 bytes, not by 1 byte. See, again, we are using P++. So I hope all of you understood. So if you do the P++, it will not, the answer is not like this. It will not increment by 1, but it will increment by 2. So I hope all of you understood this concept. Clear these things? Hello? Please reply so I can understand that
Yes, yes.
I have to move further or not, or I have to stay on the same topic. So we have discussed similarly malloc, how we can change the malloc function over here in our program. So when you use the malloc here, only one change is that here you have to calculate the total bytes. So here indirectly we are assigning 10 bytes, but in malloc we cannot assign two parameter over here, so we can directly mention 10. So malloc will allocate the 10 bytes in memory in a sequence, and again it returns the address of first element. So that is the difference. And malloc is having the suppose if I execute this, right? So again it is here I have not cleared the previous one, so it displays the same output. But malloc and calloc, this is the main difference. And you should know this internal the mechanism also, okay, how calloc is allocating the memory and malloc is allocating the memory. So I hope all of you understood this topic. And
સર
yes.
સર એક ક્વેશ્ચન હતો.
Yes.
આપણે મેલોક ની અંદર જે ઇન્ટીજર નમ નો જે અરે બનાવ્યો એની જે વેલ્યુ છે 6 રાખવી તો સાઈઝ 6 રાખીએ અને એલિમેન્ટ્સ ની સાઈઝ 10 આપીએ તો એરર આવશે કે પછી આઉટપુટ જનરેટ કરશે 5 બ્લોક્સ નું?
Actually, see, in malloc, first thing, we cannot give two parameters. First thing, this, right? And suppose you are saying that you want to give odd figure like this, right?
નહીં છે, ન્યા 10 જ રાખવાનું આપણે. સાઈઝ ઓફ એલિમેન્ટ 10 જ છે.
Okay, 10. Then
and integer num ની અંદર array ની size 6 કરી દો.
But see, here we are not using the number. This is just, I show you that this is static declarer. Here there is no use of number over here. See, there is no use of number over here. Right? Even, see, this is a dynamic allocation, and if you declare num of 6 over, this is static declaration. This allocation will happen at the heart. Your question is right. Suppose 10 means 5 value. But what's happen if I mention 11 over here? See, it will occupy only first
10.
Yes, 10 bytes, right? Okay, there will be a specification. Even see, allocation is 11 byte, but the last byte there is no use, because in 1 byte we cannot store the integer value. Right? Even let's see the again we move here. If I 6 and this, see, it allocates the memory here, right? But what we are trying over here, so the capacity of bench is 2, but you are trying to sit 3 person on that, right? એક બેન્ચ ની કેપેસિટી 2 જણાની છે, પણ તમે 3 વ્યક્તિ બેસાડવાની ટ્રાય કરો છો, એટલે આપણે મેમરી એલોકેશન 1 બાઇટ નું કર્યું, રાઈટ? અને એની અંદર 2 બાઇટ ની વેલ્યુ આપણે શું કરીએ છીએ? સ્ટોર કરવાની ટ્રાય કરીએ, રાઈટ? એટલે ઘણી વખત તમને એરર પણ નહીં આવે. It will accept the value, but what will happen, એને જે 1 બાઇટ ની જરૂર પડશે એ મેમરીમાં એ ઓવરરાઇટ કરશે, અને એવું પણ બને કે મેમરી અવેલેબલ ન હોય તો બીજા ડેટા ઉપર ઓવરરાઇટ કરે, અને ઘણી વખત પેલું આપણે એબનોર્મલ ટર્મિનેશન એરર આવે. If you are not allocating the memory properly, then it will give a abnormal memory allocation kind of error, system error, so program બંધ થઈ જશે, right? So I hope all of you understood the concept of this calloc and malloc. Within 1 minute I repeat the same. Calloc is required 2 parameter, malloc is required 1 parameter. Calloc assign default value of 0. If it is a character dynamic, then it assign a null. In malloc always is assigned a garbage value. Then in a syntax also, this is the difference. So I hope all of you understood. Then let me move to the last questions. Sorry. Okay, friends, now I have another meeting. Then again, I will share this PPT and material to all of you, right? And in future, if time permits, then again we'll communicate to the next concept of C language. I have another meeting with the meeting, so I will not continue. So please share your feedbacks in my WhatsApp, and I hope all of you enjoy these sessions. Now, any questions, then please tell me, or type me in a WhatsApp. Now I'm conclude my sessions today.
Sir, share this PDF with us.
Sure. I will share you PDF, all right, by WhatsApp group or by mail. So, okay, thank you everyone. Thank you for joining.